it's been.
They did it for security reasons.
Your time is paused. Paused. Oh, 5:24. We're doing a new TikTok for cycles.
Fox!
Or fox.
Well, why is the fox there?
The burning house.
Yeah, but there's a. Oh, it went to double tree, I think.
She noticed more than £400,000 had vanished. These accounts that you're talking about were audited by, professional auditors, by qualified accountants, court-held entities.
What's about everything?
And I saw this. I saw
Hey!
the new thing which this repair.
Did you notice him the first time as well? He came back.
Yes.
No, what's this?
I saw that song. See, I saw that he stayed there because I'm doing an update for the distance with YouTube. So nine. Is this 6:12? Yes. Yes. That too. Yeah. It's showing less than final. Less than BC CSO. This is what they did this year. They've managed to find new ways to challenge, new ways to trick the opposition. The YouTube clip is showing with 6 stars. We'll have to play a World Cup in the summer. How fresh will they come back? Will we need in the Parisian side to bring in new players to strengthen this squad? Is there a desire for some players to find themselves into a new challenge? Because yes, the French league, obviously, in a sense, is already almost a given to Paris every year when they start the season because of the level. First is at 9:30. Want to make a move overseas? Some of these players have been very heavily linked to some closest every day. At 7:30. Maybe some of these players who may not play as much will want to have some time, some game time of themselves. How will that affect the balance? Obviously, it's one thing to be at the top, but it's a completely different ballpark in a different game to try and stay at the top when you are the leading contender. It's showing a 12:61. It's showing this one. The Poland.
I no doubt speak to you in a little while, Pierre-Antoine Denis in Paris amongst the PSG celebrations, which have now moved inside the Elysee Palace because the squad are due to meet Emmanuel Macron, the president. You can see that some children parents there.
It's showing that traffic.
We will go back to those pictures when we see them arrive. They've got a trophy. It's a huge trophy. You can't miss it.
That's
Let's not forget
straight
Arsenal, though,
ahead.
because they're celebrating, of course. We've been speaking to fans along the parade route, who's been sharing what this day.
We celebrate. We celebrate in Canary. Ah.
Give me my phone. Why did you take the charger off? How many percent? How is off?
That's not enough. It's not off. View.
Okay. Put this back.
Yeah.
This one. Look. Okay, this. Put it back. Up there.
It's not there. Yes.
How many percent? How many?
100.
Okay, charge this one.
Good.
Well, it feels as though every single Arsenal fan was descended on North London today.
It's showing 11%. And K-Pag GB is showing popular at National Rail Services. It's showing that input Canary Wolf is that way. The left way. We celebrating that fifth exit towards Docklands. And it's showing straight ahead. And because this station is near the station, he might be learns this to E200 to E200 hybrid in London. It's showing number 15. A huge page. And now it's showing 25 for
It's showing Upper Bank Street
So maybe there'll be a rather fixed grin on his face, I don't know. I'm sure he'll be more generous
on
than that when he hosts these
Annette
players.
14
PSG are just the 10th
in
club in the 71-year history of the competition to
in
win successive titles.
the U-turn
I've got to thank my colleagues at BBC Online
will
for website
pretend
information, because I'm
and
not that well
into
informed.
untold
Michael, can I get scissors, please? Scissors from the drawer.
scissors.
Yeah, underneath in outside.
Stay there, I'll be right back.
Here in Paris is almost like a trophy going back into its birthplace. I do have actually with me a few fans who sing.
It's showing that covered.
How are you? How was the day you were here?
So look at
We're just gonna pause with Suleiman because
look at the covered screen.
Welcome to the Elysee Palace. Here again, we are bringing you here. Paris has won 2 stars. Thank you very much.
It's showing the head talks in Canary Wharf.
I thank the players.
Oh.
I want to have a word. Because unfortunately we've seen, and I don't want to get used to this, I don't want no one to get used to this violence we've seen these things yesterday night, all across the night. I want to thank the Interior Ministry, the head of the police here in Paris.
It's showing
Everyone
Mildred.
all around Paris and across France to help tackling what can only be described as unforgivable. I want to thank all of our police forces, all our
I'll get that into tap.
as a result of these violence. So thank you to all our police officers, and we'll not tolerate anything, any more violence. I've had enough. I am fed up of this all. It's over.
It's showing the covered.
And now let's go back to sport. Let's go back to celebration.
Still
I won't be
six.
long, I promise. But I have to say that you've made us final and dream all the way to the last second. Yes, last year you were strong and intense and aggressive. So you've went all the way from the bottom of your heart and the bottom of your lungs to try and get this all the way to 120 minutes and beyond with this penalty shootout. What a team you guys are. Yesterday, France has done in 2 years what PSG has done in 2
It's
years.
showing September 2017.
Thank you very much for that.
8888. Look at that. It's showing 888. It's showing 888 comments. It's showing 888. It's way back. So we all know it, we all know how good you are, but you are the pride of France, the pride of Paris. You can be very proud of yourself. So I want to thank the president, the main man who for many years For you.
and imagine this reality.
To imagine.
There have been many years where people have told you to give up, kept it going, and this is a real moment of proud.
Look at that.
Trust in your heart, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
It's showing. It's showing
I know
that
how much the mayor of Paris, Emmanuel Grégoire, is proud of it, and will work together with the PSG to
that
keep it going.
green
I also obviously want to thank the coach and the staff together.
in this. Let's teleport to the A261. Look at the huge. Look at the huge mind.
This win is yours. This win is the one of the whole staff. Thank you very much for that.
Look at. Look at that.
Not forgetting all the football experts who said that Luis Enrique is going to be a disaster for Paris. All the doubts we've seen yesterday. A coach
It's showing.
Have a gift.
absolute
Make a bit of juice.
master of partition, and it's been
It's showing
with these two
the
stars.
women's
Well done.
era.
And to this team.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Thank the whole team as a whole.
Wow.
All the displays, each and every one of them. But I want to talk about the captain because Marquinhos,
It's showing
all
the
of
crossing.
many people around him told him to go, and he stayed. Everyone said to him, grass always greener somewhere else. He stayed. He went through the hardship, and what a captain he is.
And look at that. It's showing the green trees.
We're very lucky that this man did not shake and turn to jelly. He was as good as his team was. And we've seen even when he was a sub
You
every
mad.
time that he was able to turn himself into a manager and was able to motivate his player like he's never done before. So thank you very much, this man, for all your hard work.
And
I also want to thank every single player of this team. Because last year I told you,
Look
all of
at
you,
that.
how you were resilient and strong together because we've entered on French football
it's
via your action and your work. But this year, let me tell you this.
it's showing.
You have, it's important to say that you have avenged
It's showing
Bayern in the
the
70s.
right purpose.
And we've seen through this match and the final that you were a whole package. You were together. Every single one of you have gone for this win. Like hell. But
You returned.
and what became angry and was anxious. You stayed in this game. You stayed in this final. Even more than last year. You showed unity, strength, and you showed
Will
character and his unity that only the greatest team can
we reset
any point, any moment of weakness.
this this painter. Look, it's showing number 1. And the red and the new one is there. Listed in 2026. To repaint this and reply. Hi. Hi.
So behind all of you, you've seen it on the Champ de Mars, and you're going to see it in a few seconds when the players are going to go back to the budget.
Oh, this is the wrong street view.
This capital city is behind you, but it's the whole country that is proud. We're all cheering with Qatar, Spain, Morocco, Portugal. We all
Average.
so we are very
Check on speed.
in a few days, some of you will join and have the blue shirts, and a new competition is going to start, the World Cup. I'll be on Tuesday at the French training camp.
Your speed.
Some of you.
Your average check on speed
And let's the PSG as followed.
is
The
report
French team, with
is replied.
Let's get that French team to wear a third one, shall we? So go get win this thing.
Hard this check on speed.
Much talent and experience within his ranks. So we're very, very proud of you. Very proud of this French team. From his president, his chairman, his coach, all his staff, every single one of you. You've made what many thought was unimaginable, unattainable. You've done it with
Is repeating,
You've made Paris
and
finally
they
shake.
were
So long live Paris, long live the Republic, long live Paris, long live France.
and they were
There
in
you go, the words of
repainters in Ilford. So theme colors is
let's try and get a few words from our fan Suleiman, who was kindly waiting here. Suleiman,
so theme
how is this
colors
challenge for you? How is this challenge for you?
Today is a great day for me and for some people because PSG win the championship.
is showing up Ilford food near the Ilford station. So I'm doing a mark for the go ahead. So I'm doing a mark for the most videos you replayed as has importance. When it comes to go ahead is East London Transit.
I was just listening to your translation of what Emmanuel Macron was saying. Yes, this is a Parisian team, but there's almost a sense of national pride coming through.
Absolutely, obviously, this is exactly what it means, right? At least this is what Paris
LT400.
Your main rival has won the title back to back and are essentially the best team in Europe, you probably won't be thinking that. But it is true that even, say as myself, right, I am French and I am very proud to finally see Paris winning a title and
Right,
be
I'm
top
doing
of
a
the
mock
European football echelon and be
for the
right
top
there
themes
playing
when
against the
it's
biggest team in
this
Europe and in the
unmissable.
world. It obviously feels
When it
quite
comes to
inhuman
it,
here. The semi-finals
when it
against Paris
comes
was
to
almost in a
LT400,
sense the finals with
because
Wolverhampton.
it's near the
That when the
Alfred,
players came onto the pitch and were almost
it
ready
is
to kick off, the
it's
whole
near
stadium
the
started to sing national
cycles.
anthem, the Marseillaise, this sort of marching band song that we all sing together as a nation. Also the
So
colours
you
of the song
took
is red,
that
blue, white and
into
red.
clip
This is the exact country of that colour of
is
the
showing
French flag as well. So this is the sense of unity that is around this Parisian team, mainly because it's only the only team really at the minute that can actually compete with the big guys in European football. And this is what is important and matters to this Parisian team, to try and fly high the French flag when it comes to European football. Mainly also because a Parisian win has a ripple effect for the whole of French football. It means more UEFA points that will bring more French team into these competitions in the future. It could bring more investments for the whole of the French league and French football, because obviously each win
is
of Paris
is
will
said
help to transfer TV-wise
LT400.
money, more players into the league, to try and compete against this Parisian side, or at least to be noticed by Paris itself. So this is why it is obviously and for sure a French win as well, as much as it is a Parisian win today, as it was on Emmanuel Macron.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll hear from you later, but for the moment, thank you very much, Pierre Antoine, in Paris with the PSG winners at the Elysee Palace. You're watching BBC News.
Something very typical of this region.
I saw this I saw this score shot already.
Chickpea flour, very simple, and you bake it on a very hot oven. They have a wood fire.
I I'm doing I'm doing this mock already.
Pancake, which is a
The
slightly nutty taste, complementing the regional olive oils it's often served with.
now I'm doing for the next mock for this one.
A little bit of pepper. Crunchy, tasty, nothing complicated.
Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Here at BBC Verified, we use forensic investigative techniques and tools to fact-check stories, verify information and counter disinformation. Using data analysis and the latest technology, our journalists examine the evidence and get to the facts. Watch our BBC Verify reports on the BBC News channel or go online to find out more.
There is nothing like driving into a moving story and not knowing what is going to happen.
You can hear the sound of celebratory gunfire.
I live for those moments. Journalism is about being there as events unfold and telling people not only what happened, but why it matters and what it means. History happens in real time, and someone needs to be there to witness it.
Hello, I'm Martin Proctor. This is the Iran War Today, our daily briefing bringing you up to date with all you need to know on day 93 of the US-Israel war with Iran. Let's start with some of today's developments in the region. Israel's Prime Minister says the military capturing Beaufort Castle in southern Lebanon marks a dramatic shift in the campaign against Hezbollah. Lebanese officials say the latest Israeli airstrikes have injured 13 staff members. There's a hospital in the city of Tyre. France requests an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council, expressing its concern we have had an address earlier by Benjamin Netanyahu, who says that the Israeli military capture of both the castle in southern Lebanon marks a dramatic shift in their campaign against Hezbollah. Israel's Prime Minister said the capture of the strategic site, about 15 kilometres from the Israeli border, meant its forces had broken a barrier of fear. For the Israeli military was seeking to dismantle Hezbollah infrastructure, sweeping evacuation order for much of the south of Lebanon. Our correspondent Rami Rahim is in Beirut and has been watching the latest developments. Explains the significance of the ancient Crusader Inn castle.
Cultural and historical, and it has also strategic significance because it overlooks a lot of the area surrounding it. So the Israelis are using both its strategic and its symbolic significance to try to advance their psychological warfare against Hezbollah, to say that they are winning this battle and that Hezbollah is on the retreat, that they are unable to stop the advance of the Israeli army, and that the Israeli army will not stop until it has destroyed the group. Hezbollah is fighting back with both attacks on the Israeli army as well as its own messaging and psychological warfare against the Israelis. They've put out a photo showing Israelis trying to shelter attacks and quoting the Israeli Prime Minister saying that his forces have crossed the Litani. In a way, they're trying to say that we will never get indoors until we meet our demands, and of course they are demanding an actual ceasefire as well as the withdrawal of Israeli forces alongside other demands. So this is
And why Samsung and Viber 5 S9 S9 FE EV.
Of Israeli attacks on the healthcare sector. Of course, there have been way too many. There's also been we have news of one rescuer killed. I think it was yesterday from the official news agency. There was also another strike in the vicinity of another hospital in another city in Abatia, and also here itself is coming under intense Israeli fire today. We just saw reports of 4 strikes in a row on different parts of the city, and we have news of 7 injuries so far. The number is likely to be higher given the destruction that's being reported around the city of Kiev. Many people are very reluctant to leave, for example, in fear. We've heard many people have been staying there despite the war coming ever closer to them, because there's a widespread belief here that Israel does not intend to let anybody return. But those who do leave, they head north, of course. Sidon is the first stop. Sidon, north of here. But the problem with Sidon is there's no more room in official shelters in Sidon. So in many cases they have to head further north. Many of them have already found their way around the country, either with friends or with family or in different places, and then they return to their areas if they happen to be not deep in the city. Their areas are close to the Zahrani River,
There you go.
and they're relatively less safe in other areas. They would return, then they will flee again once they fall again under Israeli evacuation orders, threats, or under renewed Israeli bombing. So it's in certain areas it's a fluid kind of situation where people go and come back and then go once again. And in other cases it's a different matter. Many areas there are people who believe that once they leave they will never be able to go back. And this is also reflected in official Lebanese statements, which are accusing the Israelis of not just simply trying to defeat Hezbollah or achieve some kind of military victory in this war, but of pursuing pursuing a policy of complete destruction, in the words of the Prime Minister yesterday, who said they are, or the Israelis, he accused them of also attempting to erase history by targeting different cultural and heritage sites, and also to impose collective punishment on the Lebanese people. But of course, there's also a lot of division here. The Prime Minister was speaking in defense of the government's decision to go to direct negotiations with the Israelis. Yes, we don't have a guarantee technical results for Lebanon direct negotiations, but it is the least costly option at this point. On the other hand, you have Hezbollah, which is still attacking the Israelis, saying that the only way they will ever withdraw is if they feel pain and if there's a cost to their occupation and their pain.
In today's ritual, reports from the US suggest that President Trump has made amendments to the latest draft of a possible deal to end or at least pause the war with Iran. Official sources say Mr. Trump has hardened his terms and that the proposal has been sent to Tehran. Iran's main representative hinted that a deal was far from being done. Well, the news agency AFP is reporting diplomatic sources have confirmed to them that the UN Security Council will meet to discuss the conflict in southern Lebanon. Earlier, France had called for an emergency session, expressing its concern at Israel's ever deeper occupation of Lebanese territory. Let's speak to our correspondent Sebastian Asher, who's in Jerusalem. Sebastian, the Israeli Prime Minister very pleased with the capture of this Beaufort castle in southern Lebanon. Why do they see this as so important?
Well, you heard quite a lot from what Rami was saying there, both the strategic and the symbolic significance. The strategic significance, he described her essentially, it's on a high ridge overlooking the Litani Valley, so it's a very commanding position. That's why the Crusaders built it there 900 years ago. If you have that position, you can control the sight lines pretty much of the whole region. Hezbollah, when it was in control of it, was able to do that to an extent, and now Israel believes it will be able to use it in the same way. I mean, you could say the way that the war is being conducted, mostly through airstrikes, so the ground operation by Israel is growing, and on the Hezbollah side by drones. It's not as significant as it was maybe 30 or 40 years ago, and that brings me to the second element of symbolic significance. Both he and his descendants, Israel had, when they celebrated the capture of the castle, referred back to 44 years ago, when the Israeli army captured it during what they called it, the First Lebanon War year. And after that time, it became really the nexus of Israel's occupation of its so-called buffer zone in the south of Lebanon, which it held right up until 2000. Now, Hezbollah, which didn't even exist at the time that the First Lebanon War began, developed from that, and it began essentially a war of attrition against the Israeli troops there. And those images through the 90s, the mid to late 90s, of helicopters having to come down to take wounded soldiers, Israeli soldiers being killed, away from there back to Israel, they were repeated week after week, and that had a huge effect on public opinion in Israel. Essentially,
don't you see what's making that noise? Huh? Don't you see what's making that noise?
Increasingly during the occupation of the
I'll put this in front of the... Ask Papa back. Mama is coming to meet him in less than 5 minutes.
Whether that's true or not, we will see. I think it's true to say that statistically around war is generally bad in Israel, where people in Iran and destruction in Israel, the rockets that they fired during the 12-day war last year and the war this year proves that. And Lebanon, to a similar that hasn't happened. Bulla
Papa,
has been able to rebuild
if I come there and you've not back,
its capabilities, and just in the past week or so, it's intensified its attacks both on Israeli troops down in this southern zone and also on the communities in northern Israel. Maybe 20-25 rockets being fired a day. That's led here to new restrictions being brought in those areas right up close on the border, where schools were closed today, where gatherings of 50 people are being allowed, similar to restrictions during the war. So at the moment, as I say, I think it's generally backed by perhaps the majority of Israeli people. The opposition is actually criticising Netanyahu for not going hard enough, for not living up to his promise of eliminating Hezbollah. But of course, there are others who've witnessed what happened in the 90s, who witnessed what happened in the 80s, and say, you know, this is a war
Now
that will
increase
go on
it.
potentially forever. The goal of utterly eliminating Hezbollah may not be one that is actually achievable. Perhaps other means are once again
So,
necessary.
if you're done with this, I'm going to go. So, if you're done with this, I'll go to Canva to retry this at the A30 to complete and concentrate or focus or let me concentrate that hesitated.
Sounds, radio or television. Thank you for your time. We will be back at the same time tomorrow with the Alarm War Today. Independent artists say they're seeing more of their products being copied and sold online in online marketplaces, which is having a huge impact on their
Additional
livelihoods. They say original artwork, jewellery and photographs are being ripped off by various platforms. Our reporter Becky Brown
Try not to re-upload
on the retail site Temu.
this thing.
Some say being copied is a compliment, but for designers like Natalie, it's anything but.
It was pretty gut-wrenching, to be honest. Felt like a real
I
violation.
saw this.
Without her permission and knowledge, her clothing
I saw
designs
this
and
from
product photos modelled by her
from
daughter have been
Wobbenster.
ripped off and listed for sale on the marketplace Temu, sold for commercial gains at
It's
a fraction of the price.
Small businesses shouldn't
to
be penalised for just making their work visible. I mean, we lose
to
so much money
repaint.
from it, and it makes you feel worthless coming up with new designs because you know they're just going to be taken.
Look
and
at
used
that.
elsewhere.
It's not just clothes and designs that have been stolen. Natalie's
That's
recent
a
cars have
brand.
also been ripped off and are
That's
being
a brand
sold by
new
different
cycle.
sellers on Temu.
Hesitates cycle
instead of design talented
is
designers
building.
spend all their precious time doing takedown on online platforms,
So,
and that just simply
so
isn't right.
the
Temu have since
hesitated.
taken down the listings. In a statement, they've said, "We do not permit
This
the
is a
unauthorized
brand
use
new.
of intellectual
New.
property on our
This is
platform."
the.
They go on to
This is
say,
the brand
"This
new
means
red
that violates
spot.
standards of content
The
creation.
new cycle
Enforcement
spot
actions are taken against the
in
responsible."
Wofenstow.
Not enough has been done to stop it. You know, the listings
Go
that have
to
taken down,
Canva.
the sellers are still on there.
I'll
There's no
get.
consequences to
Go
what's
to
happening, and
Canva.
there needs to be stricter
Check
rules
where the
before
reds.
things can even be listed.
Go to
Natalie is asking
Canva.
people to think
Check
twice
where
before
the
shopping sites like
888
Temu, as
cycles
something so cheap
in
come at the cost of small
Wofenstow.
business. Becky Bowden, BBC News.
The social media star KSI has announced that he's leaving the YouTube collective Sidemen after 13 years. KSI, whose real name is Olajide Olatunji, has made football, comedy and challenge videos with the group, which has 23 million YouTube subscribers since 2013.
It's
The Sidemen have
showing.
confirmed the news on their X account, saying it came as a surprise, but they wish him all the best.
is
Shall we
showing
show you what's been happening in
the red
North London?
painting.
Because Arsenal's fans have been out on the streets in huge numbers, and the air
Brown
has
and
been
white.
red with that smoke, celebrating that with an open-top bus parade after they won their
Now
Premier
add
League, obviously softening the blow a
to
little
this
as they lost
page.
to Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League final,
Duplicate.
last night, but we're glossing over that. Arsenal's women's team has also been celebrating because they've won the first ever women's Champions Cup. That happened back in February, but they are being celebrated by the fans tonight as well. You're watching BBC. Stay with us.
Hello there, it's been a cooler, fresher feel for all of us today, and for the first few days of June, starting meteorological summer, temperatures may actually fall
Add
a little lower
as
still, and the weather
new
is more
page.
unsettled with some rain at times. Areas of low pressure are going to be coming in from the Atlantic, and it's this developing low
Page. Hesitated man.
western areas. The earlier showers having died away, will hang on to some clearer skies though through the night across the Midlands and eastern parts of England. Temperature-wise, similar to what we had last night actually, so perhaps those numbers down as low as 8 or 9 degrees. Tomorrow we've got some eastern parts of England, but clouds coming in.
Is this one.
The afternoon across Wales and southwest and then the Midlands. Sunshine and sharp showers follow into Northern Ireland. It may well stay dry across the far southeast of England. Here temperatures again reaching 22 or 23 degrees. Elsewhere, typically 18 or 19.
Is this one.
That area of low pressure will bring some useful rain to the southeastern parts of England overnight, and that low pressure is still sitting around on Tuesday. Will feed in a mixture of sunshine,
the tools,
possibly even thundery showers with some gusty winds. The winds pick up further on Wednesday, bringing in some more rain and dropping the temperatures.
I promise this isn't how I drive.
The director can come over to me
to
and say, hey,
repent.
a little jerk here or an extra bump there, and in a few clicks of a button I can do that.
This is the forefront of the technology. Why do we want a cell phone network on the moon? There are no people there. There are no people yet.
What's in my hands are tiny, lab-grown brains. This is what everybody wants to get their hands on.
This is a really significant change in the game.
What have you found already? 10 billion new genes?
There are currently tens of thousands of untreatable diseases with existing tools. We think we can make a dent in that.
This revolutionized all electronics.
Technology like this is part of what will accelerate the capabilities of the future.
We're developing an
hesitated budget.
To have biosynthesis goes to countless times less energy.
Part of something really major here that's been done in video games.
Tech now. Watch on the Easy iPlayer.
Currently under arrest for outrage and public decency. I'll explain to you the reasons for the arrest in a second.
And
Sex offences on trains
to
and
repaint.
stations are on the rise. So we've got a live report here of a male making
watch this. It's showing the hesitated monsters.
It's a race against time.
He cannot believe.
Before it's lost forever.
He cannot believe this. This page.
To keep us safe on the railways.
Or leader.
Very public tube station. Get on a tube, get off the tube, and not be
The-
identified.
To reject.
In supposedly, one of the most watched cities in the world. It's not good enough.
Watch on BBC
It's showing April 2019. It's performing.
Celebrations have been taking place in the French capital as thousands gather Canva to welcome Champions League winners Paris Saint-Germain. Arsenal fans have also been gathering in North London to celebrate their Premier League title win after last night's Champions League final defeat to PSG. Israel's military seized a castle in southern Lebanon after ground troops crossed the Litani River.
It's
An Israeli strike near a hospital in
it's
Lebanon.
showing
13 people.
the
Former
reformish
First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, says that she's not
Bish
going to apologise for her
painting
husband's crimes. In her first interview since he admitted embezzling £400,000 from the
is
SNP.
showing the left U-turn.
Last speaks about the dramatic
I didn't think much. I don't, my brain didn't go to working mode in these places, so I just think about what I do and execute it.
Thing is the
Hello, welcome. I'm Martin Croxall. The
Martin
been welcomed back to Paris to celebrate the Champions League victory. They paraded the trophy to the Eiffel Tower, greeted by huge crowds of fans. The French team won a second consecutive European Champions League title. The match against Arsenal was decided by a penalty.
is showing the reformish.
Well, in the last hour or so, the team was received by
That was
President Emmanuel Macron.
that was incredible.
Their back-to-back Champions League victories. He said the capital
The reformish.
So we're very, very proud of this French team.
So proud.
His president, his chairman, his coach, all his staff, every single one of you. You've made what many thought was unimaginable, unattainable. You've done it with heart and passion. You've made Paris vibrate and shake. So long live Paris, long live the Republic, long live Paris, long live France.
Celebrations did turn violent though at times last night. Authorities in Paris say more than 780 people were arrested after clashes between fans and police. Well, this is the scene right now
It's
in
showing
Paris.
the
About
left
6,000
turn.
police have been mobilised for today's victory parade, which of course was
I remain
the Eiffel Tower. The Interior Minister said that the security forces would be firm in their
and that
response.
circle.
Well, our reporter here on 12 is in Paris with the latest, and Emmanuel Macron did address the problems in the press conference, the gathering at the Elysee Palace that we saw.
Are back in town and have been able to celebrate with their fans. Paris Saint-Germain have reclaimed their title, their European title. Look at the street here with the fans.
It's showing 2022. Look at that. The glamoured left turn. So let me add to replace
Meanwhile, in London, Arsenal fans have been celebrating their team's Premier League victory in the streets of North London. The Arsenal team buses have been winding their way through huge crowds packed with star players and staff on a 5-mile journey through the north of the capital. The slight sting of losing the Champions League final last night has though been overcome, of course, by securing the Premier League trophy. The Arsenal women's team are also being celebrated after lifting the first ever Women's Champions Cup in February. Well, we've been speaking to fans all along the parade routes who've been showing what this day means today. the defeat, but everyone still came out looking happy. So I think it's really good.
It's so fantastic. You know, it's just the fact of the commitment and the drive and the fight. They knew they were going to do it. As I say, left and right. He said it all, didn't he? Really. So it's just lovely to have everybody together here, young and old. You know, the kids, they love it as well because Arsenal just isn't for the older people. It's for the whole generation.
Well, of course, Emily Brown has also
So let me swap this here.
Descended on North London today. They are celebrating what is a moment in history and has been a 22-year wait for the club. 22
Here.
years since they were last Premier League champions. Now today we saw the parade pass around the streets of North London on what was about a 2.5-hour route, cheering and celebrating with all of their fans, celebrating the season of success. But it's clear that celebrations aren't over yet. Fans descended on the Emirates Stadium. You can see behind me that they've got through those gates. The red flags are going, adding to all the red that is here in the streets of North London today. Fans have come here from far and wide, speaking to people. I spoke to people who have come from California, from Northern Ireland. They made their way here to show the support for their club and the success that they've had. And although they didn't have the result that they wanted in the Champions League final last night against Paris Saint-Germain, that hasn't dampened any of today's spirit. And people have turned out in their numbers. Tens of thousands of fans have been here. Matt Lee said that they were expecting this to be one of their biggest
What we find.
this year. And many roads have been closed today to allow for the parade to pass through these streets. And fans have been waving to their team, seeing the trophy on the front of these buses. And also Arsenal women's team, who won the FIFA Women's Champions Cup as well. So there have been lots of celebrations today. And by the looks of things, these celebrations will be continuing for hours to come.
Emily Brown in North London. Voting is underway in Colombia as the country elects a new president. The current left-wing president, Gustavo Petro, can't seek re-election, but the vote will still be seen as a key test of his policies. During the election campaign, there was a surge in violence, guerrilla attacks, homicides and kidnappings. Let's speak to Richard McColl, freelance journalist who's joining us from Bogota. Richard, thank you so much for waiting patiently while we dealt with footballing matters. Tell us what's so interesting about this particular election in Colombia.
The pages.
This election pits three candidates, and this is what will probably be the first round. There might not be any overall winner today, and then it will go to a second round with the two leading candidates on the 21st of June. But of course, the interest in this election is that for communities living under the authority of armed and criminal groups, it offers a choice between radically different means of achieving public security, and indeed
Look at that.
under the shadow of US foreign policy.
So this time,
continuity candidate, the left-wing candidate, leading in the polls,
leave this here.
or can he see this surge by the right-wing,
Duplicate this.
who's expected to come in second today, and then of course the conservative, the right-wing, Paloma Valencia, the career politician as well. So fascinating.
Add a new page.
What are the policies that you think that each of them might choose to continue though?
Well, we don't see obviously the continuity candidate will follow much of the same lines of Gustavo Petro, the current president. He sees human rights and an investment into socio-economic reforms to address the root causes of the conflict.
Look at that.
In the country, he sees this as the solution. The second place candidate,
Page 1.
has said that he'll abolish the 2016 peace accord in its entirety and return to
page 1 of
heavy security
of 100.
90-day shock tactic of trying to bring the countryside back under control from the armed groups. And Paloma Valencia as well has talked about total security, increased defense spending, and cooperation with Washington. So very interesting and diverse forms there.
How might relationships with their neighbours and other countries in the region also be shaped by this?
Well, of course, this is very interesting indeed because Latin America at the moment there's an alignment pivoting to the right in recent elections in Latin America. Just look at Bolivia, Chile,
This,
and of course neighbouring Ecuador with President
this report, man.
the ultra right-wing candidate is very much of the same playbook as all of these populist right leaders. And yes, that would put us in, I would say, in accordance with the rest of this continent. But will Colombia buck the regional trend and remain on the left? I mean, this is what's so very interesting because, of course, the US pulling the strings in this part of the world is Colombia's dominant.
So when I repaint this, he repaints this new roundabout for the repayment.
Lebanon said an Israeli airstrike near a hospital in Tyre in the south has injured 13 staff members and caused significant damage. The command of the Israeli army has taken both at Castle, a strategic point on a high cliff above the Litani River. Israel has also ordered residents living south of the Zafarani River in southern Lebanon to leave. The UN Security Council will hold an emergency meeting on Monday over Israel's expansion of its defences in
Look at that.
told us about Israeli strikes near that hospital.
The real ones are there.
Somewhere very close to the hospital, not for the first time, and the Lebanese Ministry of Health says 13 people have been injured, and it renewed its condemnation of Israeli attacks on the healthcare sector, of which of course there have been way too many. There's also been we have news of one rescuer killed. I think it was yesterday from the official news agency. There was also another strike in the vicinity of another hospital in another city, Nabatieh, and also here itself is coming under intense Israeli fire today. We just saw reports of 4 strikes in a row on different parts of the city, and we have news of 7 injuries so far. The number is likely to be higher given the destruction that's being reported around the city of Kiev.
Scotland's former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has said that she won't take responsibility for the crimes of her estranged husband, the former
It's showing A126. The performance.
She won't be saying sorry for what he did. I will take responsibility for the things I do, the decisions I make, but I am not responsible for the crimes that my former husband committed, and I'm not going to apologise for somebody else's crimes. He perpetrated a crime on the SNP, and by definition that included me as the party leader. He misled, he deceived. He's serving and will be serving a sentence for a crime he committed. I'm out here feeling as if I'm serving a sentence for a crime I did not commit.
His crimes included buying a necklace with SNP funds from a jeweller in Shetland while his wife campaigned in a by-election.
And I was being shown around the shop, and I stopped at this pendant. I mean, you've seen pictures of this, beautiful. Later that night, Peter said to me, I've got a surprise for you. And I saw him admiring this pendant. And so I loved that.
So let me.
Bigger proofs, like a £125,000 motorhome parked outside her mother-in-law's house.
I genuinely don't
Starter is this way.
seeing that motorhome. If I saw it, I probably would have assumed it was a neighbour's.
But what of the accounts of the party she led? Didn't she notice more than £400,000
Don't take it.
had
Don't take
vanished?
the phone.
The
Huh?
accounts that you're
Don't
talking
take the
about were audited by, professional auditors, by qualified accountants. Of course, there will be ebbs and flows in the party's financial position, but the idea there was anything in the accounts that would have alerted me to what Peter pled guilty to on Monday is absolutely, fundamentally untrue.
Her critics
Huh?
are unimpressed.
The SNP will not progress as a party of government or as the leader of the independence movement until it addresses what went wrong during the Sturgeon years. In my opinion, what's come to light over the last week is the tip of the iceberg of a culture of secrecy and mismanagement.
What you cannot have is a culture of control and secrecy that just tries to
So
shut us down
let's
when the
check
SNP
it.
is such a dominant force in Scotland.
There are now calls that both Holyrood and Westminster for an inquiry into the circumstances of this case. But the current SNP leader, First Minister John Swinney, is resisting those calls, saying that the party has improved its
Let's
governance
check
and
it
oversight, and insisting an inquiry would add nothing to a lengthy and
is
detailed
this way.
police investigation.
For now, Peter
Why
Marlow is
isn't
being
it
held
not
in prison
coming?
awaiting sentence next month. But we may hear more details about his crimes at a court hearing on Tuesday. James Cook, BBC
Is this
Glasgow.
way.
And you can watch that interview with Nicola Sturgeon on the BBC iPlayer, on YouTube, on the BBC News channel at
I created
UK time, of course, and you can listen to the full 55-minute version on BBC Sound. An explosion in a rebel-held area of Myanmar is reported to have killed 55 people. The blast happened in Shan State near the border with China in an area
is
controlled by
we
the powerful ethnic armed group
alert.
military government. Some reports say the blast happened at an ammunition store, but the rebels say it was caused by the accidental detonation of mining explosives. People are searching through rubble looking for survivors. Health officials in Brazil say they're investigating a suspected case of Ebola in Sao Paulo state. If confirmed, it will be the first infection outside Africa since the current outbreak began in
Add a new page. 18, 19, 22.
Remains very low. Meanwhile, the medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières has warned that the rapid spread of Ebola in the DRC has created a
Page
deeply alarming
1
situation.
or
Our reporter,
page 0 of 23.
the attempts of the authorities to contain the virus.
At least 11 countries,
It's refurbished.
neighboring countries of DRC and Uganda that have notified Ebola cases are at high risk, according to health officials here.
The
and,
locations
cross-border transmission is still possible. That's why
is
there is a huge mobilization of resources of
is
here to try to contain these outbreaks here in the
refurbished.
Democratic Republic of Congo as well as in Uganda. Dr. Tedros was with him in Buna yesterday. He's expected back here to Kinshasa
The cycle slip
in the
road
afternoon. And today he's handing over the first
is this one, not this one.
talking to community leaders there because this is important. In the absence of a specific treatment of
Think is this one.
outbreaks here in the country, authorities here are banking on, countermeasures, the washing of hands, avoiding any physical contact. And in Bunia, well, here people are not really abiding by those, as I've seen in Bunia.
Is
Here. So, community engagement, local
is reclining.
talking to people to make them aware that the virus is circulating and proper measures to be effective.
Then I saw that cycle green way.
One of the divers who helped to free missing men from a flooded cave in Laos has described their dramatic rescue mission. Earlier this week, specialist divers found a group alive inside a narrow tunnel they had entered while searching for gold.
It's showing High Street South.
Two people are still missing.
Uh,
Have a listen to what the diver said.
the Greenway will be open at Cycle 42.
Something else was there waiting for us. So when we entered
So let me go and show you what Cycle 22 is replaying.
and I'm sure the other way around too. Like they heard our bubbles approaching, but it must have been a moment for them too, like seeing divers coming out from nowhere. But the survivor was the hero there because he didn't blink. We went straight in, nothing there. He was holding my hand, and every restriction that came on, he hit his head a few times. He got stuck a few times, but he didn't stress. He didn't panic. If he would, that would be the end of the dive. So we got out, and he walked out, crawled out as well, and yeah, that was. I didn't think much. My brain usually goes to working mode in these places, so I just think about what I do and execute it. But after the dive, when we realized what just happened, that they actually got one out, that means we can get the rest out too, like it actually worked. So that was it was a moment of success, I think, or not success, survival. It's not that simple though. The teams are now getting ready to go and kind of like estimate the conditions and see if they can continue the diving. But yesterday, after the after the fifth miner came out, roughly 1 hour later, it started to rain and the big thunder came and what I hear now is that overnight or last evening it rained so much that the mine is now flooded up to chamber number 2, which makes our entry kind of impossible. So we still now found the mine, the water out again, already drained, so there's a little drawback there.
We turn or go back to her. To her. We're not transforming at Upney to Faircross. Oh. To Riga Bus Terminal. I need charged again. Ollie?
I want this haircut.
Huh?
I want this haircut.
Yes. Bucket of garbage. Then women's. Then fat garbage. Then women's. Boulevard, down South Park Drive. This is Route 62 westbound to 62 westbound.
Competition ends tonight. This £1.3 million home in the heart of London could be yours, or you could take the cash alternative of £1 million free cash.
Westbound.
Go and get your final £1 tickets right now.
To Gascoigne Estate, the Owen Estate, Woman Athen, on Estate, Woman Boulevard, towards the Coverdales. Wake. Next, women's racetrack, then Faircross. See. This water. Athens, we got past. these photos? Hmm. Wow.
Kind of blew up overnight, you know, with the stickers, but I mean, I'm simply did it just to raise awareness.
After launching in April, the stickers are being requested by drivers in surrounding states like Alabama. Adam says these stickers are vital to the safety of his son because he doesn't communicate like the average person.
Because he may not respond to the prompts that an officer may say, or he does what we call stemming. They say stop up on the platform. I'm kind of blue. Sound we used to back on the platform back on the platform. This one I'm kind of blue say. They say if you no house. Me I cause I'm store. Me get on see one of the year. Me go drive na me sire. And if I me money me sire buy me say mommy. Till I me store how many me go drive na. Me come buy am me friends in 2 pounds in right. Mucho to the person that need you. And now, you put on this to the jam and I really do if you can't call. Some of me is you should have a if you're much is only routine and table. It's so much. Apple, yeah, you want my corner. What is the jam now?
Hmm.
If you want to run away from anything kidney issues, if you don't want to have kidney problem in your lifetime, please do these things that I'm going to tell you because from 30 years below now are having kidney problem. Dialysis, you can imagine doing dialysis 1,500 people in a month. It's something else. Okay, so number one, please drink water. Don't allow yourself to carry water all around. Please, the more you drink water, the more your kidney functions better. And this is honestly the hardest video I've ever had to make in my life. I have decided that I will be no longer be doing Simon videos. Today, 31st of May, will be
No world market.
even saying these words out loud, it just doesn't feel real. The Simon have been such a huge part of my life for over 12, 13 years. For almost half my life, the Simon have been my second family. We built something that none of us ever thought was possible.
Is not ha. This sad. This router. Jennifer. So well. No, not now.
Tomorrow you're going to school, so let's go and bath.
I don't want to bath. This outside. This outside. This outside. Neat. Collect. Which mine. Oh, yeah. Stacy outside 9 a.m. I'm too cute. Where 20 cook. Woman. Stage. Women 16. Stacy Woodson. Scroll up. Wake up, boss. Now you can turn this on. 1 minute, please. Give me 3 minutes. And that's it, you're done. You can do more on Saturday. And for this one, to begin, it's showing LCY2 on most cycles for wheels. Now you can stop this video for tomorrow. We're going to see all with Miss Katie Knight. Is here. Yeah, Miss Alex is back. And Miss Donna Plus is back. And Miss Katie is back from Thrive. Tomorrow we'll see all